If you're serious about growing your YouTube channel to boost your business and build your brand, there's something you need to know. Common mistakes could be sabotaging your growth and you don't even know it. I'm Jeff Hampton, owner of two YouTube channels, Hampton Law and Jeff Hampton, with over 335,000 subscribers and over 18 million views per month. Today, I'm sharing 5 mistakes that hold creators back and, more importantly, what you can do to avoid them. And make sure and stay tuned to mistake number 5, because this mistake has crushed countless channels. Mistake number 1, not focusing more on your titles and thumbnails. When I first started creating YouTube videos for my law firm under the name Hampton Law, I spent nearly 80% of my time scripting videos and coming up with ideas. How much time did I spend on titles and thumbnail creation? Unfortunately, it was pretty much an afterthought. What I didn't realize back then is that I had everything backwards. So I originally spent all my time coming up with amazing video ideas, then scripting that idea, and then recording the idea. But then I would quickly and hurriedly put together a thumbnail, and I would slap a title on there. And then all of it became worth nothing because no one would click on the video. A good rule of thumb on YouTube is always spend more of your time earning the click, then build your content around the click. Why are titles and thumbnails so important? Because they set the expectations of the video for the viewer. Why? Because if you don't craft the video around your title and thumbnail, you will likely end up losing the viewer during the video because the content didn't match the expectation on the title and thumbnail. Now I spend most of my time, the bulk of my time, coming up with great titles and thumbnails well before I ever script a video. And then once I feel like I've got a really good winner between those two, I start scripting my content around the emotions that the title and thumbnail exude. I really encourage you to try it, because for me, when I started focusing more on my titles and thumbnails, I started seeing more views, more subscribers, more phone calls, and more leads that ultimately means more revenues for my business. Mistake number 2, failing to script the first minute of your video. If you're spending hours scripting out your videos before you record them, you might get more bang for your buck if you primarily focus on the first minute of your video. Why? Because within the first minute, and many times within the first 30 seconds, that's when you're going to see the biggest drop off in viewership on your video. If you don't put your best foot forward in the first minute of your video, the YouTube algorithm will likely limit your reach to your audience. For example, notice this retention graph. The drop in the blue line represents the number of people that start to drop off my video on this 5.5 million viewed video. The fewer number of people that drop off in the first minute of your video, the better the chance the YouTube algorithm will actually serve up more impressions to more people, which will likely end up with more views. Now, why exactly is the first minute of your video so much more important than all the rest of the minutes of your video? Psychologically, if the viewer watches the first minute of your video, they are much more likely to keep following you further into the video. Which is precisely why in the first 30 seconds of your video, the very first words that come out of your mouth must be curiosity-creating hook to grab the attention of the viewer. You should then focus on setting the stakes. You need to let the viewer know what they're going to miss out on if they don't check out your content and why it is so important to them. And then you need to make sure and establish your credibility. You're the expert here. Make sure they understand the experience and the specific know-how that you bring to this video as to why your opinion is going to matter. But after minute 1, quit saying what you're going to say and start delivering on what you promised. The ultimate goal here is to have people watch halfway through your video. If they get to the halfway point of your video, there's a much higher chance they're going to watch all the way to the end. Why? Because the viewer is now psychologically invested in your video, and human nature is we want to reinforce our decision to commit to watching this far into the video by finishing it off. This is precisely why the back half of your video is nowhere near as important as the first minute of your video. Mistake number 3, not having a why for your YouTube channel. Why do you want to start a YouTube channel? Or if you already have one, why are you creating content for your YouTube channel? Many business owners say, well, I'm doing this to make money. And I get it, we all want to make money, but I'm not talking about that. Making money is merely the result of having a compelling message on YouTube. So, I'm asking you this, what is your why behind having a YouTube channel?
My God, why?
In other words, what is your cause? What is your purpose behind exactly what you're doing? What I'm getting at here is that first of all, please make sure whatever you're going to spend all of your time making content about, make sure it's something you really enjoy and you have a passion for. If you can't get pumped up and excited about what you're making videos about, either you will quit YouTube or your audience will quit you. How? Because the audience is really good at telling whether someone's being authentic and bringing energy to the video. If you don't have a passion and you don't really enjoy the content you're making for YouTube, either have someone else in your business do that for you or start a different channel and talk about things you really love. I say this because I talk to business owners all the time when I consult with them with YouTube Rainmakers. And they just tell me, hey, I'm going to start this YouTube channel because I want to make a bunch of money. And we all want to make a bunch of money, but that cannot be your why. You have to have a bigger purpose for what you're trying to do to change people's lives, to make a difference in society. And of course, your business does get involved. For example, the why that I came up with, and that is very true for my criminal defense channel, Hampton Law, is that I want to educate all of America on their constitutional rights when it comes to police encounters. I want to make sure that people not only know how to stand up for their rights, but they can protect themselves if they find that their rights are being violated. My why for my asset protection channel is very different. There, my goal is to educate all Airbnb owners on what they can do to protect their hard-earned assets from greedy lawyers trying to come in and steal them in a lawsuit. This is what I get excited about when I am creating content for those channels. And it's my North Star. It's the thing that I really get focused on when I'm not only creating content, but when I record that content. One thing I have learned, that if I stay consistent to my why in my businesses, the money will come. People are always much more interested in investing in the why of your business rather than the how. People want to support your cause, and they will support your cause by calling your business and working with you. Mistake number 4, failing to use a call to action at the end of a video to move you towards your goal. What is your ultimate goal when people watch your channel? Do you want more subscribers? Do you want more leads? Do you want more views? Do you want to build an email list? Depending upon your goal, you can craft a call to action at the end of your videos, directing your viewers toward the particular goal you're looking to achieve. For example, when you first start a YouTube channel, I advise a lot of new business owners that set up their YouTube channel to have their initial goal be to grow their channel. You want to have not only new viewers, but you want to start establishing some loyal returning viewers to your channel. One of the best ways to do this is through the end screen. An end screen is a perfect complement to this goal, and here's how you do it. At the very end of your video, you can put up over here on the left-hand side, and you can say, if you liked what you heard here, check out this next video where I break down, and that particular video could perfectly complement what you just spent all this time talking about. And let me tell you something. If that person watched your video all the way to the end, there's a very good chance if you make the journey for them very easy and show them where to go and tell them to click on this video, there's a good chance they'll continue now and begin a binge watching effect for your channel. In fact, in my experience, when I started using this technique, I started to double my views almost immediately because it created a binge watching effect that signaled the YouTube algorithm that people loved my content. If, on the other hand, you have a more developed channel already on YouTube and you really want to grow your email list, a lead magnet strategy could be perfect. A lead magnet is a short checklist, guidebook, or resource that you provide to the viewer in exchange for their email list. This is perfect. Many times if people have been watching your video all the way to the end, they don't want to forget the great information you just shared with them. By offering them a lead magnet, they'll now exchange their email address for a resource they'll go back to later so that they don't forget what you just taught them. I've done this with my asset protection channel, and I have now been able to grow my list for my email list of over 2,000 people. Not bad for a channel with only 4,000 subscribers. And finally, mistake number 5, and perhaps the biggest mistake I see most creators make, neglecting to do the research to really know your audience. Have you ever made YouTube videos and you felt like you were taking a shot in the dark as to whether your audience would like your topic? You can remove this worry if you take the time to research your audience. How do we do this? One of the easiest ways to do this is to locate similar channels that are in your niche that are maybe further along in their growth than you are. You then locate their most popular videos over the last 12 months or so and create a spreadsheet so that you can actually evaluate them. I routinely do this with competitor channels in my niches, and I come up with an Excel spreadsheet with 10 to 20 creators on them, and I literally lay out their most popular videos within the last 12 months, and I start to see patterns. I start to see different types of topic alignments, different type of video ideas that are all very similar in their content area. And now I know, hey, wait a minute, this particular type of audience that also happens to watch my content, they really like this type of content. So now I can actually have a direction in where I move my content. The best part is I know that this audience is similar to mine. So I already know what their tastes are. I know what their preferences are. So I can take a content idea, except now I'm not going to just rip off that idea. There's a concept known as steal like an artist. I can take the best parts of what I see from them, and now I can add my personality to it, but on top of that, I can put a value add to the content. I can see something and say, wait a minute, I can add so much more to what I just saw in this particular video, where if these people, if the audience really liked this video over here, what I'm going to serve them up here is really going to satisfy them. This creates a whole different experience for the viewer, and it also infinitely increases the opportunity your video will perform well. This one step of getting to know my audience allowed one of my channels, Hampton Law, to 10x, literally 10x my channel in less than a year. Knowing your audience is everything on YouTube. Now that we've identified the 5 mistakes to avoid on YouTube, what are the secrets I need to know in order to double my views on YouTube? Check out this next video where I share with you the secret experts are using to double their views. See you over there.